good. Life is beautiful. Oh, yeah. Hey, happy Monday. Hope you survived Thanksgiving. Remember, we spoke at great length right before the Thanksgiving break. The Thanksgiving can very often, but not always, but very often be the beginning of yen strength. Can be. Sometimes it's dramatic, sometimes it's not, sometimes it doesn't show up at all, but it is something that you need to be very cognizant about. I mean, sitting there waiting for it to happen, and if it does happen, then you need to act. Sometimes it doesn't, but it can, depending on the situations, right? And, wow, might be happening, right? It's sort of like watching an avalanche in slow motion. You're like, yep, that's definitely an avalanche. Like, well, maybe you should move. Yeah, it's getting closer. So, anyways, so maybe that's happening, maybe it's not. Don't really know. But eventually, you got to get out of the way if it is an avalanche, right? So, what else is going on? They want to throw politicians in jail in South Africa. Must be a Monday. Yeah. Must be a Monday. That's how you tell. What else is going on? Well, today, being a Monday, we need to do our fundamentals, go through the commitment of traders report, go through the calendar, all that kind of stuff. Should be an exciting day. What do you think? Smell like a plan? Let's go through our positive mantra. So, welcome everybody to Forex.Today. Let me remind you that trading Forex is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Right, Michael W.? Take a deep breath. Oh, hello? My name is Wayne. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. It's a good brokerage. They offer you MT4 and they execute it lightning fast. And depending on the model you choose for your Forex trading business, it might be a variable spread, a VIX spread, or ECN, whatever floats your boat. Competitive pricing, fast execution, good customer service. We treat you like human beings and adults. And I'm here every single day trying to share my, 13, 14, 15 years of trading Forex every day in hopes that it helps you become a better trader. How about that? That sounds like a pretty good business. So we want to have you associate with us. I do these sessions every single morning, 7:30 a.m. New York time, which is approximately London lunch, a good time for us to get together as a team and as a community to share our thoughts and ideas, leverage the group power. So we do that Monday through Thursday here at Forex.Today and every Friday at FX Street, where I'm also Forex Speaker of the Year. And this Friday is non-farm payrolls. Yeah, I said that in whale. Non-farm payrolls. Yeah. Yeah, see? I fulfilled my foreign language requirements at university. Yeah, I speak whale and dolphin. Man, I got it all. So let's trade currencies, huh? Boom. Let's trade some currencies. The language, the international language of money. International. It's kind of like love, except it doesn't stab you in the back and cheat on you. You know what I'm talking about. All right. So let's start with commitment to traders report. News. Doop. COT. Doop. And you guys are quiet today. Are you feeling all right? Everything all right? Look at this trade. Oh, come on, Bubba. Just a few hundred pips more. Come on, baby. Just one more hundred, just 100 pips more, please. Yeah. Feeling good, Adam, huh? Cool. I got to make my way out to the Middle East, don't I, Adam? You need to have a drink. Way overdue. I wouldn't be shocked if I'm out there actually fairly soon. Not this month, though. And I might have to do tomorrow's webinar in another country, but I haven't decided yet. Hope you don't mind. All right, so boy, I've got a lot of whale going on today. Let me get my drawing tool. Yeah, that would be probably spring, Adam. You got to get to, if you're going to go to the Middle East, you got to go before summer. So maybe spring, right? I was supposed to be the keynote speaker at the Forex Trading Expo, I don't know, in October. And then I was supposed to be at the Chinese thing too, but I just got too busy, so I had to decline on everything. Too bad, so sad. All right. Another country, Boston. Yeah. Nah, I might zip out to the Caribbean. So I don't know. Tomorrow I might be in Puerto Rico. I don't know. Probably maybe Wednesday. Wednesday I might be in Puerto Rico. I don't know what the hell is going on, to be honest with you. So I have no idea. All right, so here we go. Let's do this. Euro. So it's one of these things, right? So if I get there and all of a sudden like audio doesn't work or video doesn't work, you know how it is where it should work, but it doesn't when you travel, then we'll just deal with it, right? We're big boys and girls. All right, so this over here is the amount of institutional investors that are actively short the euro. Okay, there used to be this many. Now there's only this many. So there are less bears, but the neutral zone is here. We'll do this in dotted line. So there's a lot of bears. A lot of people bearish on euro. Not my opinion, not someone else's opinion, not some expert that's read 5 books on Forex and now is speaking on CNBC about the foreign exchange market. No. This is literally money. Not an opinion, fact. Oh, is it not up to date? Hang on, maybe I didn't scroll or November 4. Did it not? Huh. Well, that'll make it easier. Did it not update? 16, 14, 7, 14? I guess you're right, huh? Life is great, life is grand. Well, thanks for ruining a perfectly good 2-week-old Commitment Traders Report webinar. Come on. Come on, Ron, it's a free webinar. You don't need up-to-date information. All right, Ron's correct. Thank you, Ron, for ruining it. Yeah, it looks like the 14th of November, 2016. And that would be old, isn't it? Yeah. What if we do that? Yeah. All right, well, makes my job easy. All right, done. Next. If it pleases Ron, we'll do the calendar now. Are you happy now, Ron? Is this good for you? Yeah, cool. All right, yep. We got Monday, November 8th. Cool. Yeah, for now. Yeah, no, Callahan, that would be me. It's just, I don't know. I would have had them recorded. So sometimes it takes so long that I just get distracted and I come over and there's like 5 things I need to do. Each one of them takes too long. I'm doing 900 things, and so sometimes it just, that's too bad. So, but you remember last week was a holiday, right? There was nothing Wednesday. Or no, there was a Wednesday. There wasn't anything Thursday or Friday, but is that right, Pippin? That makes sense. Yeah, it was good. We went out to some Indian reservations and cheated a whole bunch of people out of their property, symbolically, of course. And then, gave them the flu and we went home. It was great. Hey, here's some smallpox. Thanks for the blankets. Yeah. All right, so yeah, Pippin, the funny thing is I doubt the site will be updated tomorrow, so that data will just, what'll happen is it'll just, it'll skip, right? Is it? Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. You're right. So it's funny though, I'm Canadian, I grew up in Canada, and a lot of my closest friends growing up were Indians. Then they became Aboriginals and Aborigine peoples. And then they became First Nations people. I don't, but I don't live in Canada anymore, so I don't know the name. But most of my friends were quote unquote Indian. Very good friends, and I learned a lot about Indian culture, and so on and so forth. And it was very integrated into my life. Then I moved to America, and I think I've seen Indians maybe twice in the 25 years I've lived here. So what they rounded them up and locked them up somewhere. It's amazing. It's just what a difference, right? Where half the people you know are Indian, to suddenly you never see an Indian ever. It's just a strange thing in America. It's a really big, strange, like, where did all the Indians go? No, but it's really bizarre. Where'd they go? Yeah. So, what an interesting, odd cultural tidbit if you just never knew. There are millions of Indians in the United States. I haven't seen any. So Canada handles that differently. All right. So, what is really going on? ECB speeches are always going to be important, right? Sure. Japanese news, good. Governor Pelosi speaking. All these things are going to be important, right? Japanese unemployment rate, isn't it amazing? 3.0. It's crazy, isn't it? 3.0. What's the unemployment rate in Spain? 22? What's the unemployment rate of people under the age of 30? 50%? I mean, wow. 97% of people in Japan that want a job have a job, which means maybe the other 3% are actually just looking for a better job. It's quite amazing. Wheeler's going to speak. So anyways, we got, Kiwi going to move, some CAD move, some Euro move, all pretty nice stuff. All right. I'm skipping a lot just because I don't think a lot of this stuff is going to change the direction of the market. So like, you almost need to flip a coin and say, well, the yen pairs are going to go back up, and what's happened in the last 24 hours is a retracement, and you're buying the dip. That's it. Or there is profit taking, and it's coming down, and that's it. So you got to handle that delicately. Um, you know, European or German CPI, I don't think it's going to change any of that. Traders are either getting out between now and Christmas, or they're going to wait till January 1st. That's it, depending on how scared they are or how close they are to their annual bonuses and all this kind of stuff. And I've already covered this in the past. So really, what's really big are two things right off the bat. Central banking, central bankers talking. Okay, that is important, because that gets to the heart of the matter. Why do we even track things like GDP and CPI, right? Retail sales, jobs. Why do we even track all that stuff and care about it? And why do we do it? Because we want to know what the central bankers are going to do. So when the central bankers talk, you can just skip all that other stuff and say, well, Wheeler's going to tell us what's going on, right? So you can kind of like cut to the chase. You see what I mean? But there's one other thing going on, and we'll talk about that in a second, right? So anyways, it starts off really big. GDP is also big, but we're probably no crazy surprises going to go on there. U.S. GDP, okay, sure, that's going to be important, but I think first half of next year will be super important, which means we won't get that till the second half of next year. All right. So so it's important, good, but you should already be able to basically guesstimate some of that. And it'll be good, it'll be surprising, but it's so backward looking that why is it important, right? All right. So anyways, what is this? Tomorrow, lots of USD is going to move tomorrow because of all this news here. Okay, Schiller, again, not a market mover, but interesting. We just need to confirm that the housing market's still on good trend. Consumer confidence, again, are they going to go out and spend? But, it was an okay Black Monday or Black Friday or whatever, right? It was a good shopping weekend, but not an amazing one, right? I think is what's being reported now, right? And then the brilliant news people say, well, actually, spending was good, just not in stores. Yeah, well, who shops at a store? How strange. Go to the store and pay 300% markup. Why would you do that? And stand in line for that honor? Fight for parking for that honor? So anyways, yeah, Tuesday dollar should move, and again, when I'm watching closely is, will the dollar remain strong? Will the yen remain weak? Yeah, that could be it, but I don't think it's going to change the direction of the flow. If markets want to get out, they don't want to risk their performance bonuses between now and the end of the year. This last 4 weeks of trading, they don't want to screw it up. Then they're not. Then this is going to come down. That's it. So anyway, so this is all very good information. All very, very good. Case Schiller. Yeah, great. Good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Japanese industrial production. Great. It'll be disappointing. Right? Like, what? Is it going to be good news, right? Oh my gosh, did you see the Japanese industrial production? And then here it is, the OPEC meeting. So I'll tell you what I told you 2 weeks ago, and I'm repeating myself, not for the first time either. OPEC meeting, they will come up with an agreement. They may even sign it. And that would be very good for oil until people realize there's no way in hell that any agreement can be actually carried out in the real world. Because as I said, according to game theory, with so many people in on this deal and so many people desperately, by people I mean countries, desperately in need of the money. And just the vulnerable, wow, I really messed that up. And just the vulnerability of a cartel in general, I will guarantee you, as much as one person can guarantee the future, that members of OPEC, if they do sign a deal, will cheat. Not because they're bad people or anything like that. It's just that the system is designed to encourage cheating. And in this particular case, everyone is incentivized to cheat. Maybe not encouraged, but incentivized. Someone's going to cheat, but if there was one weak member of OPEC, then that person would cheat, or that country would cheat, and probably everyone would know, and it'd be okay as long as it wasn't too obvious. But in this case, they all need to cheat, which means nothing will happen. So here's my prediction if you want. OPEC will sign a deal. It'll be big news. They'll all agree. They'll cut production. Oil will go up. And within 2 or 3 months, we'll find out that inventories went up, not down. Okay? So OPEC will no longer be a functioning cartel. Death of OPEC, whether they admit it or not. I don't think they should ever admit that OPEC's dead, because they get to go to like Vienna and party and write everything off, right? Right? As business expenses. So great. So they'll do that. But what else is likely to happen in 2017 and 2018 with a Trump presidency? He's going to do something that I've recommended for several years, and that's streamline the regulatory red tape of moving oil around the United States. And he's probably going to jack up production of oil in the United States and persistently keep oil prices down. Even if OPEC decided to cut, and even if OPEC did cut, and nobody at OPEC cheated, which I just can't believe. I think there's a 1% chance that that happens. But even if they did, oil prices will go up and Americans will pump up their volume and drive it down, which also makes OPEC almost pointless. Okay? Fred, turn off your TV. That's all I can say to you. Here's the TV I watch, and there's no sound. So I think you're talking about the 3 million missing votes, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, OPEC is a big deal, guys. The OPEC meeting is a big deal. I do expect some sort of agreement. I think there's going to be a lot of politics before they actually announce it. And so you're going to hear a deal, and then you're going to hear that the deal has fallen through, and I don't know, they'll work through the night and maybe even an extra day in Vienna. More parties, right? And then they'll come up with a deal and everyone will sign them. Great. And so you'll get some up and down and up and down, and then finally oil goes up and up and up. Maybe we even hit $55 a barrel. And then Fred, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. It's all done. They're picking cabinets and stuff. It's done. It doesn't matter. All right. And then the manufacturing data out of China, that's always important. But what we're seeing now is China has been stimulating their economy. One way to track that is industrial metals. Did you guys see things like lead and copper and zinc and stuff like that? It's way, 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 way up this year. What does that tell you? Well, somebody's buying it. Oil barons in the USA signed contracts with gas stations for 20 to 35 years. Yeah. Oil business controlled by a few. Yep. But, DeBista, what you're talking about is an indirect cartel. And it's supposed to work that way, really. If the government was in control, which they should be, they should have an energy policy, then they would ensure that there wouldn't be overproduction. So one of the reasons, or probably the reason, oil prices are so low right now is that the United States, Obama, completely mismanaged the industry. They have, way too many regulations. And despite that, no one apparently paying any attention to fracking, which, if you regulated the industry, you think you'd see some signs that fracking's coming on board. And all of a sudden, there's just way too much oil produced. We're drowning in oil. And the government said, what? What? What's going on? Fracking? What's fracking? Like, well, you're the oil of, you're the energy minister. You don't know what fracking is? What? I've been sleeping. I'm sorry. Right? So all of a sudden, there's just way too much oil in the world. Now, you'd think, though, industry should be able to do it themselves, because why would you produce more oil if you were going to lose money? Now, that's not always the case either. We saw in the I don't know, when was it, 1910 or 1897 or something like that, when oil is discovered in Texas, independent oil companies went out, basically, a guy and his three sons went out to a field, bought the rights to drill oil, and built an oil rig literally less than a meter from another rig. And they just had thousands of them, and they produced and produced and produced and produced and produced, to the point that the government finally sent the National Guard out there to force people to stop producing oil, or they would be shot. So when you put big oil companies in charge, they just know that they don't want to drive oil prices down. So they'll cut production, hurt cash flow in the short term, but prop up prices on the medium term. And it's sort of an indirect cartel. It's called capitalism. But you do need somebody in control. So you either have, like a Rockefeller in charge. So Rockefeller obviously ran his own cartel, but everything was stable under him as well. He was acting as the government because the government couldn't do it. But you don't also want thousands and thousands and thousands of people independently involved in the market, because it's too hard to coordinate, right? So, anyways. Let's move on to this. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, moving on to Thursday. What's going on, right? ISM, right? It's manufacturing, not services. Italian GDP, really? I mean, whatever, right? So Canadian and American PMI. The Aussie outlook, nice. Okay, that is big. And then, of course, non-farm payrolls on Friday. We have the CAD job report and the U.S. job report. Sometimes they don't line up, but they're lining up, right? So that's the big one, right? And then the Italian referendum, great. So Friday, non-farm payrolls, CAD jobs report, Aussie outlook, very important. Skip. Chinese PMI, right? Any sort of manufacturing data out there. Beige book, that can be important because it's what the FOMC actually discusses when they have FOMC meetings, right? Personal spending, PCE, consumption and expenditures. I think I skipped that. That's actually pretty important, right? Because that is something that goes into GDP. Oh yeah, I skipped ADP as well. You know, it's there. It's something to trade. I don't really care about it, except very often you can scalp it, pick up 25, 30 pips, but that's that. We're also starting to see, I believe, the correlation breakdown between ADP and NFP, right? And then everything else is the OPEC meeting, the RBNZ report, and then before that, Wheeler speaking, great. And then before that, we got Draghi, we got Pelosi. So lots of nice, good things to do. It's a pretty good week. You'll be fine. Thank you, John. Okay. Oil coming down, huh? Brent. All right, Brent. Up down. I could see that technically just kicking off resistance. But again, that wouldn't take any fundamental. And I'm going to assume, even though this is bearish setup, I guess it's really, this is sideways, so I'd call it midpoint neutral setup. But really, my guess is OPEC does cut this week and it goes up. So my guess is this goes up. Pure fundamental play. There's nothing else on the chart that would really tell you that, except maybe this horizontal line. But if you consider that a breakdown, okay. I wouldn't consider it a breakdown. First of all, I don't use trend lines like this because I think they're very subjective. So I use horizontal. So I don't count it as a down move like this would suggest until we break this low. So if anything, I'm still going to play this as sideways, not down. Now this, yeah, Brent daily bullish on the bullish setup. I see there's a bearish and a bullish. WTI. So it should be the same thing. You know, the difference between Brent and WTI, Brent is simply British oil. WTI is American oil. So they should do the same thing, just at different prices. There's traditionally a spread between the two, but they generally do the same thing. '20 period EMA, yeah, support. I could see that. See nice roll reversal support. Pound offloaded before the end of the month. All right. Pound yen. 15-minute down, 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 sideways, sideways, down, down, down. Sell entries when the gap down is closed. What? Sell entries when the gap down is closed. Initiate short when there is a sell signal printed by stochastics. All right. Pound. So there's buyers now. So he wants it to go up and then back down. So sell it off 141, huh? Cool. Dum bum bum. Yeah, sell it off resistance. I get that. And if it breaks higher, sell it up there. All right, I get that. Hopefully the first one holds. Yeah, euro dollar. Yeah, I would think so. What time frame is that? 4 hour. Yeah, that makes sense. It actually held 4 hour 55. Really kicked off the weekly R1 is what happened. So this is heading down, but off the R1, which he has here, right? 106.76. Is that right? Yeah, that's what happened. Kicked off the R1. It's probably what this red line is. Yeah, so it's already worked for him. Cool. Good job. Oh, Danny boy. For the most colorful charts award. Yeah. There we go. All right. Pound Aussie. All right. Pound Aussie. Cool. Well, I'll tell you what, I have, Daniel, yeah, I haven't looked at Pound Aussie. So are you buying Aussie or are you selling pound? So you're selling the pound. All right. So picking up some Aussie along the way. Okay. Yeah. Roll reversal. Yeah. Off the 50%. Cool. Yeah. That makes sense to me. You got some pivots in there, looks like. Yeah. Oh, especially on daily, right? Yeah. All right. 4 hour. Yeah. Down, up. I get that. Kind of wish you were already short up here in the gap zone. Gap zone, huh? I can see. Yeah, that's the right place for it to roll over. So were you able to catch it between the weekly pivot and the M3? Cool. Nice play. Pound Aussie 15. Yeah, so you got daily pivots here. I think I would I'd be looking at these weeklies. I could see it right there. Yeah, I can see your plan. It is right off the M3, huh? So which one held? Was it the weekly central or the M3? Yeah, yeah, but which one? M3 or central? Oh wow, aggressive move. All right, cool. That'll get you down to weekly S2. Sweet. Yeah, I get that. That's a nice swing trade because on this macro level, you're supposed to be on it, not for 50 or 100 pips, but I'm assuming if you sold, let's say basically it's bearish at 70, this should probably go down to like 50, right? That's a 2,000 pip move, I would say. Oh, you're looking for 500? All right, just a scalp? Yeah, sweet. Right? I'm just saying if you sold here, it's got to make an extension lower. And the low end here you have at 57, so I would assume 40, right? Because it's what is this, a 50%? So or 618, so 1382, right? Yeah. So 45? At least 1,000 pips, right? But yeah, you got to take profit along the way, especially when you get down in here because you never know. Cool. I get it. I got it. I know it's good. Your trades are tight. I wish I could. Ryan, huh? Here's the review. $48.7 million Americans travel 50 kilometers or more Thanksgiving. About 88% of Americans consume more than 46 million turkeys. Yeah. That's it? I find that incredibly low. There's what, 380 million Americans, and we only eat 46 million turkeys? I guess because multiple families get together, but even then, I'm shocked that's not even 100 million turkeys. But then again, the French eat half as many baguettes as they used to per capita. But then again, the amount of couscous the French eat has probably gone up 5,000%. All right. So, anyways, blah 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 blah. Trading weekend started. 10 minutes. Yep, 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 yep. That's all very nicely written, right? Keep an eye on the 10-year. Yeah. I'm hoping to see, I'm expecting to see it dip back below 2%. Maybe not today, but in the next 3 months. Did you guys read Barron's magazine um, suggests that the U.S. government issue 100-year bonds? Big dollar, Aussie, Kiwi. Yeah, this requires some detailed reading. All right. Trend up into here. Trend up into there. A little horizontal in there, I think. Yeah. Yeah. And then you see in here, right? Like, doesn't it seem like a good opportunity for a pullback? 10-year supportive, right? Again, maybe have it come up and drop that yield. Oh, Nick says why? Why what? I'm sorry, I skipped over. Why would I think the 10-year yield would come down? Oh, why the 100-year bonds? Uh, well, imagine being able to borrow money for 2% or 1% and have 100 years to pay off your debt. Well, still relative to let's say historical norms and stuff like that. So All right, so maybe you pay higher, but still it'd be cheap. Okay. So how about this then? Let's say you're offered a credit card. You have to pay 5% annual interest, and you don't have to pay it off for 100 years. How high of a credit line would you like? I say, well, can I have $1 trillion? Well, that is the interesting point, right? So I was discussing with my wife, who would lend the government money knowing that in their lifetime they will not get it back? And probably even their children's lifetime, still not get it paid back. It's interesting, isn't it? You're like, yeah, I don't have any grandchildren yet, but I will leave it in their will that when the bond matures, they will get the money. It's kind of interesting, right? But now if you're an insurance fund or an insurance company, let's say, or some other institutions, they prefer the cash flow, I guess. Well, there used to be perpetual bonds. Did you guys know that? That you would lend whoever the money and they never pay you back the principal. That you just earn the income, let's say a coupon payment, forever. So it's very similar to that. Well, you'd think, Nick, right? You'd think, I mean, someone would want that to say, how about this? Let's say it is a business, and for some reason they say, here's $1 billion. We're not using it. We don't plan on using it. We're going to be forced to give it back as dividends or stock buybacks or something like that. But it's just, I don't know, just $1 billion sitting around making everybody upset. So we will cash in our $1 billion to earn 5% for the next 100 years. And then in the future, since it's an asset that the company owns, in 100 years from now, the company simply gets that $1 billion back. And now we don't have the shareholders all worried and stuff. Now we have this asset on our balance sheet and we have a cash flow. Right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. There's some right. There's some reason, right? But all you're really doing is lending the government money so that they can build soccer fields in Baghdad. Okay. Okay. So here's where we are. I predicted a double bottom with a higher high that would then produce a higher low, which then would produce a higher high, which would produce a higher low, then produce an up here and then down. And because it's 49, almost 50, that it should come down farther. And I'm surprised I might have deleted something, but that does make sense to me. So you got two choices here, my opinion. If you're looking at this more macrolically, you're going to say this is a retracement from here to here to here to here. Okay. And if you don't believe in that, then it needs to come up, hit resistance somewhere. So you fib that or that. So let's just move it up to 48. Let me get rid of that. Let me move this to 48. And then you think it's going to come down. I think up, as you know. I think we get sucked out. We get the wool pulled over our eyes. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we'll cut. Right? And oil prices go up. And I'm not even bullish on oil. Right? But I'm getting ready for the big short. OPEC tries to salvage deal. Yay. As they say on TV right above me. So yeah, let it go up. And I'm gonna short it. Yeah, good. And gold. I think we'll leave it here. So, by the way, you'd play either Canadian dollar or Noki, right? I mean, you know that, right? If you think oil prices are going to go up this week, you'd already be long Canadian dollar, right? You already would be long. Why wouldn't you be long? And here's our gold. Down, up, didn't get that. Down, right? It's still heading down, but I get worried about it getting shallower and shallower. But we'll see. Okay. This still looks down, right? Right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Yeah, a little flattening here, both show. So I guess, if it breaks this, I'm going to be very uncomfortable. Okay. One of those, signs like if you had shorted way up top, maybe you should take profit as we get closer and closer. But right now, it still seems to be playing the game. If you ever read not the Turtle Traders, the other guys like Ed Sekoda, the original Market Wizards guys, these guys would get into a trend and never, ever, 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 ever get out. Never. There was no exit strategy. There was no risk management. It's pretty stupid, actually, but people worship them. You're the greatest trader ever. No, they're one of the 100,000 people that didn't blow up their trading account, right? But whatever. So I don't know. So a lot of people would just say, "Yeah, I'm short gold," and that's that. I think what you could do is say you're short gold until it makes a higher high. Then you take profit. You wait for it to head back to resistance, and you wait for it to resume the downtrend with a lower low, lower high scenario after the test of resistance, and then you get short again. That's what I say. All right, ladies and germs. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I think it'll be a nice, cool, interesting week. Pay attention to all the central banking speak. Pay attention to the oil news. As we get closer and closer to Wednesday, what will happen is you'll get news and then counter news and then get news countering the counter news. And then there's a deal. And then, oh my gosh, the deal. Oh, Iran's not going to sign it. What about Iraq? And then, just people be freaking out, right? Just freaking out. Oil will go up, oil will come down, and then it'll go back up again. So once again, what's your job? To chase price, run around like a chicken with its head cut off, or simply have an opinion and a bias and be prepared, knowing that the volatility is coming up and you've already identified your lines in the sand. You're like, that's cool. Let oil drop. I have my buy zone. Or that's cool. Let oil rise. I have my sell zone. And you wait. And you take advantage of the weak, the sick, and the emotional. Because that's your job. Because you're courageous. You're strong. You're a professional. So, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Cheers, mate. Ripper. Bye.